Russell Wilson had a struggle bus of a game, start to finish. What is going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers' decision to keep Mike Williams off the field when there is literally no open receivers outside of George Pickens? And half the time, George isn't even open. Russell Wilson's just saying, well, I got nowhere else to go. I'm going to George Pickens. I mean, we'll start with Russ. He finishes yesterday completing 23 of 36, 205 yards, an interception. He has a 67.5 passer rating, which does beat Lamar Jackson's 66.1, and then he sacked 4 times. Seems like he's holding on to the ball forever. What's your concern level for Russ after week 11?
I think it's a matter of once is what it is. If you see it again against Cleveland, and then you start to get worried. But against Baltimore, the offensive front wasn't winning. The wide receivers weren't winning. But at the end of the day, I think Russell Wilson, he struggled early. He got sacked 4 times in the first half. He didn't have a lot of time. He didn't have a lot of space to make plays, and he was running for his life a little bit there. And that's something we haven't seen out of Russell Wilson yet behind this Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line. Yeah, we saw it a little bit against the Washington Commanders, but not to the level that we saw it against the Baltimore Ravens. And I see a lot of people getting upset because, I mean, the Ravens came in with a bad secondary, but their secondary didn't play bad, and their defensive front dominated. And that is what's going to help out that back end whenever you limit the Pittsburgh Steelers to, hey, you have to start taking the checkdowns. Whereas Russ wanted the big plays. And that's what this offense has been predicated on since Rush stepped in is, hey, we're going to make the big plays. You can't do that if you throw the ball at the end of a 2-step drop, right? You're trying to hold on to the ball to create time and space to be able to get it down to George Pickens, which we saw a couple of times, to get it down to Mike Williams, which we didn't get to see because, well, it didn't open up. So I'm not as concerned about Russell Wilson, especially because you look at that second half, they started to move the ball. They moved the ball on every single drive of the second half. He went field goal, interception, field goal, end of game. So every single drive, you were beating the Baltimore Ravens defense. You just weren't able to finish. And that's a conversation we've had a couple times this season. But overall, in the 4 games, Russell Wilson has shown that he can finish. He just wasn't able to on Sunday against Baltimore.
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. And for any that you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them with just a few taps. Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses across all accounts, easily creates a personalized budget with custom categories to help keep your spending on track, and sees your monthly spending trends in each category to know exactly where your money is going. Get alerts if your bills increase in price, there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over your budget. And the new goals feature automatically saves money for you without you even having to think about it. Whether your goal is to pay off your credit card debt, put away money for a house, or just build your savings, Rocket Money makes it easy. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you, sometimes up to 20%. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions. They could save members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/allsteelers. That's rocketmoney.com/allsteelers. rocketmoney.com/allsteelers. I agree. I agree. My worries about Russ are small, simply because in a game where you won on Chris Boswell and the Ravens lost on Justin Tucker, it's a game that just clearly wasn't going to be decided by offense. It just wasn't. This was going to be a defensive battle. This was going to be a special team showdown. That's what this is. And it was a great game because of it. If Russ does it again in Cleveland, obviously concerns, but I think there are fixes to this as well, because just like you said, he's looking for the shots. He's looking for the deep ball. He's looking for somebody to get open. The Steelers offense is designed for that. I don't think they should have been yesterday. You adjust properly and you throw much shorter passes. You've used Calvin Austin in the slot and running short routes instead of these deep balls that make no sense to me. And you probably utilize Pat Freiermuth a little bit more. I mean, this is a different game. But Mike Williams comes in there and maybe there's some separation, because that's what the Steelers are missing, is they have nobody else. And yesterday was an example that when you go up against a good defense, you need somebody else. You need somebody else desperately. The Steelers haven't played a defense as good as Baltimore's when Baltimore's is good. And I get it. Their secondary, disgusting. But I just look at yesterday as a battle of two good defenses that took place, that both defenses stepped up bigger than they've stepped up all season. And you had no answer. You had nobody to go in there and rely on after George Pickens to say, okay, somebody else open. No, they weren't. Nobody else was open. You saw Russ running around all the time. I think that's fixable. 400,000. That's how many men have rescued their nuts from stiff, unforgiving jeans, all thanks to the Perfect Jean. These jeans have enough stretch to accommodate Thanksgiving dinner and are comfy enough to wear all day watching Sunday football. Plus, even though they feel like sweatpants, they look good enough to be your go-to pants for date night. The Perfect Jean has the perfect size for everybody, and we mean everybody. They've got 6 different fits, waists running from 26 to 50 and lengths from 26 to 38, which means there are over 5,000 possible combinations of pants for you to choose from. So if you're a short king or actually 6'5", if you love a loose fit or are still in your skinny jean era, or if you're bulking up or cutting down, the Perfect Jean is the perfect option for you. For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectjean.nyc, or Google The Perfect Jean and use our code ALLSteelers15 for 15% off. It's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code ALLSteelers15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code ALLSteelers15. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Fuck your khakis and get the Perfect Jean.